IronE, I have a whole bunch to talk to you about. The one thing that I was really curious about is you were in The Blind Side, which is a really inspirational tale, you know, and then you went to The Walking Dead, which was extremely bleak and grim. What was that like as an actor? I mean, you really had to be versatile, but what was it like as an actor, different mindset for you?
Well, for the Blind Side, that was the character I played was basically a prototype of what I had been around my whole life. That model, that person, Alton, because I grew up in the inner city of Atlanta. Even some of those character traits I possessed myself, some of them. I say I was somewhat of a cross between, you saw his sidekick, D, referred to him as D, David, and Big Mike, and even a few traits that Alton had. That was me, you know, rolled up into one. So that was kind of easy for me to play that character. That character resides back there in the background of my mind. So people would ask me, like, was that, you know, wow, how did you become that character like that? I said, well, I could do that character in my sleep, you know? And as far as T-Dog, and that's me, more so today than I was back then. So I basically just use my life experiences to inform me as to how the character is going, my characters are going to be. That's my homework, my experiences. That's what we're taught in Acting 101. Use all of your experiences to your advantage and for your character work. So it just comes naturally.
Now, as T-Dog, I mean, there was like a lot of dynamics. That first season, you had some really intense scenes with Michael Rooker, and some of them, quite honestly, were just blatantly racist. I mean, you know, I was like, wow, you know, really pushing the envelope there. How was that to play? I mean, like, you know, how did that feel to play out that?
It was great. I love what I do. I love acting. I want it to be as authentic as possible. And actually, Rooker and I, Michael Rooker, who plays Merle, he and I, we discussed the spitting part because that infuriated a lot of people when he did the spitting thing.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I wanted to sell it. I wanted people to see Michael Rooker as that Merle, as that character. He wanted them to see it as well. So we put our heart into that, you know, and so I actually encouraged him to do that. We had about 15 or 20 of those shirts, the Brooklyn shirts. So we had about 15 of them on standby. He did it every time he did it. We'd be like, okay, IronE, here's another shirt. And I'd take it off and we'd do another, you know, another one. But yeah, it was exciting. Rooker and I had the opportunity because he's a legend in the game. He's been around forever. And I was just looking forward to playing opposite him. And we had conversations before we actually shot it, and he really enlightened me on the industry and gave me told me some interesting stories about the industry, his experiences,
Right.
that is.
Well, about The Walking Dead, and what were some of your favorite scenes to shoot? Because, I mean, I'm sure killing zombies was a lot of fun. But what were some of your favorite, you know, scenes to shoot? What were they, the more action scenes? Were they the more dramatic scenes?
I love both. The athlete in me loves the action, and the thespian in me loves the drama, and and I love humor too, but there's not much humor in there. There's subtle humor. So just the human in me, because we like to laugh, but I love to do all kinds of acting. And I would have to say that roadside scene with Jeffrey DeMond, who plays Dale.
Yep.
I looked forward to that because he's a legend and he's incredible. And also I saw him as this father figure that I never had. You know, in an ideal world, and I've told the story several times, that in an ideal world, Jeffrey DeMond would have been my father because I have kids, he has kids, and he shared many tales about his experiences with his kids, and I could really relate. And he's such a wonderful father. And with me not having a father growing up, I was like, wow, how great would it have been to have a father to share those types of experiences with. So that also made me look forward to that scene with him on the roadside. Along with everything else in the show, all the other scenes were great. It was just great going to work every day. I never had one bad day on the set, Christine. It was the most incredible time of my career. It was the best time of my career, the best. It's going to be hard to match it.
And what's it like? Because for me, The Walking Dead is a little bit, it's an apocalyptic version of The Sopranos. Where not everybody's making it through the season.
Right. Who's going to get whacked?
So what's it like seeing, like you said, Jeffrey what was it like when Dale was killed off for you?
Man.
Was it emotional because it actually, you lost your coworker? Was that kind of emotional and it was probably easy to build that up, or?
Oh my God, it was very sad. Jeffrey and I could barely look Jeffrey in his eyes that last week. The last week he was on the set, and every time we catch eye contact, I just kind of look away because I would get emotional thinking about it. And I'm like, this guy that I've grown so close to and built such a great relationship with, he's not going to be here anymore within 4 or 5 days. And I had grown accustomed to seeing him and having our conversations and him teasing me about how much food I would eat or something. Because, I have an appetite. I'm a big guy. So any little thing I had, he'd tease me about it. Because the thing about it, Christine, is that every time, whenever I had something to eat, it seemed like he would just show up. It seemed like, because I stayed at craft services or whatever, but it seemed like whenever I grabbed something to put in my mouth, it seemed like he was right around the corner somewhere. I was like, oh yeah, I got you, you eat it. So he would just tease me all the time about that. I'm like, Jeffrey, what do you do? It's not that I'm eating all the time, it's just that you show up for some reason whenever I'm eating. But I enjoyed those times. It was very sad, and I use that as motivation.
Well, I know, in the past I've interviewed Norman Reedus and Lauren Cohan, and I've asked them both this question: do you get nervous when you open the script? And both of them said, every time.
Of course.
But they give you notice, so when, they give people notice usually. So when you got your script and your notice of the death of T-Dog, and really, you say it was to save Carol, so it was like a noble death too, in a way. So, yes.
Incredible.
So when you got that script, and were you just like, man, I can't believe T-Dog's going, because everyone's like, T-Dog, no.
I'll tell you this, Christine. You said that we're giving prior notice before we actually get the script. But for me, early on, T-Dog, I was supposed to do 2 to 3 episodes. That's what I was told. You're going to do 2 to 3 episodes. And I was like, okay. So T-Dog was not a pivotal character. So early on, I was very nervous because I didn't know if I was going to open the script and read T-Dog's death. I figured it would come in episode 3 or 4 of the first season. So, but then later on, when he became very important, I figured that he had established himself as an important character, then they would give me notice. But that nervousness was there really more so at the beginning because they would not have told me anything. I was just living, going script for, I guess week by week and hoping that, this is not T-Dog's week. At the beginning, for Rita's and for Elsie, when she came on as an important character from the comics. And Rita's, he was a rock star, just instantly a rock star.
Yeah, but he wasn't in the comic either.
He wasn't in the comic either, but the women love Rita, so he was an instant hit. And then the relationship with his brother, you pretty much figured all of that would play out. You knew he wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. But once T-Dog became an important character, I was like, okay, they'll let me know when it happens. And I got a month's notice. So they told me that my character was going to die, but they told me that I would appreciate how he would go out. The producers, and they went back to AMC and they said, look, this is the only way we can have T-Dog to leave us. They said, you're going to be so thrilled with the way he goes out. So I was expecting something great, I mean, from what they told me. And so when I opened the script, I was excited and I was eager to read how he would die. And I read it and I was blown away. And to me, it was like a testament to how they felt about my contribution to the show.
And I was just going to say that, I mean, if T-Dog started off as, you know, a 2-episode character, and look how much longer it became, you know, really part of that cohesive original cast, and, you know, I mean, that's kind of a testament to your work. So, I mean, that's something you should be really proud of.
Thank you. Yeah, I am. And it was tough. I'll tell you one thing about T-Dog's death scene, because it was quiet. It was secret. It was a big secret around there, and nobody knew about it other than the castmates, the main cast, my castmates, and the producers. So the extras, the zombies, they had no idea. And you saw the first bite that T-Dog took. When the director came over to give direction, he said, okay, so when I say action, you're gonna come over, and all of the zombies were on the fence, on the other side of the fence. He said, you're gonna come over and you're gonna bite him on this side of his neck. And you saw the zombies, they were in zombie mode, and then when he said that, they were like, what?
Where's T-Dog?
They didn't have a clue. They were like, T-Dog's about to die. They just didn't know. They didn't know that T-Dog was about to leave the show, because, I mean, they've grown to love T-Dog. Everybody liked T-Dog. And when he said that, they were like, sounded like Scooby-Doo. But I thought that was funny. I chuckled on the inside, but it was still an emotional day for him. It was an emotional week. It was tough to get through that week. But they sent me off in great fashion because they all surrounded me. It seemed like at the whole crew, seemed like there were like 200, 300 people. They came to say goodbye to me, and they said a few words to me, and I gave a little speech, but I was too emotional to talk for too long. And they gave me a shield. Everybody signed it. And what else did I have? In my head, my body cast. You know, the molding, right. So I took that with me. So it was great.
So what's next for you? What's on the horizon?
My one-man show. That's special. I mean, that means everything to me right now, you know, and I don't look to audition for Hollywood type roles. I think the stuff that's being put out right now, I'm just not as interested in it. I'm interested in telling my story, which is a universal story, which I feel like will affect the world because everybody can relate to it. I'm all about inspiration. I'm all about truth and love. And that's my mission till the day I die. So I'm performing that in Atlanta at the Walker Stalker Con, October 17th. And so if you can make it to Atlanta, please come. I welcome you. And
then
you
also have a book, is that?
And my book.
Yes.
Thank you, Christine. Christine's like, yeah, pitch it. But yeah, it's my life story also. So I'm basically, it's entitled Blindsided by the Walking Dead, which is the same title as my stage play. So they coincide with one another, and I tell the condensed version of that book on the stage. And I tell it through dancing. I tell it through drama, stand-up comedy, spoken word, and rap. So I do it all in there, and I do it through entertainment, pure entertainment, but it's so very informative and enlightening. And I can pretty much guarantee that everybody that walks out of there, they're going to have a renewed sense of I guess purpose, you know, renewed purpose when they leave there. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Special to me.
Well, good luck with that, IronE. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much, Christine.
Thank you for coming to Connecticut Horror Fest and talking to us here at Horror News Network.
I appreciate it, and thank you, and I love you guys in Connecticut, or everybody's going to see this.
Everybody's going to see this.
I love you all around the world. Wish you were here in Connecticut. You're going to miss out. We're going to have a blast. And again, I am IronE Singleton, aka T-Dog of The Walking Dead, and you are watching and listening to the Horror News Network.